And welcome to another live stream watch-along reaction. Tonight we're watching and reacting to Vancouver Whitecaps FC versus Forge FC, the 2025 Canadian Championship semifinal. Second leg, live stream watch-along reaction. 2-2 on aggregate. Forge wins. Basically, if there's a team who wins outright, they advance to the final. If a team draws, or there's a draw, we will go to a penalty shootout. Away goals do not count in this tournament this year. Let's remember that. So if we have a draw, we go straight to a shootout to decide the team who will advance to the final and host the final from this tie. The winner of this tie will host the final in October 1st, I think. It's October 1st, I think, is the final. Yeah. But I think October 1st is the final, but I'm not. I think with the U.S. Open Cup, the Campeones Cup, and all that, yeah. I think it is the 1st of October is the final. But either way, it's either that or the 31st. October 1st, okay. So, the winner of this game hosts the final. If Forge wins outright, they advance. If Vancouver wins outright, the Whitecaps advance. We have a draw, we go to a shootout. The winner of the shootout goes to the final. It's that simple. Vancouver won 7-0 on the weekend against the Philadelphia Union. My bad, the Philadelphia Union. Thomas Muller with a hat trick on his birthday. He is not starting tonight, but he is on the bench. Okay. No Brian White, no Ryan Gould, no Sam Adekubi. It's going to be interesting. How we doing, Sean? Yes, I did say 7-0. Why you ask? Why you ask? It was 7-0. I didn't screw that up. Okay. 7-0 over Philly in Vancouver, no less, for the Whitecaps. Triple hat trick for Thomas Muller, which he is on the bench. Maybe Vancouver outscored themselves. The good news for Forge is Vancouver slightly rotated, and they probably could have scored themselves out last weekend. So maybe that's some good news. But the starting 11s are as follows. For the Vancouver Whitecaps, in goal we have Isaac Bemer. The back four of Tate Johnson, Tristan Blackman, Bilal Halbouni, Eddie Ocampo. The defensive midfield two of Javon Badwal and Sebastian Berhalter. The attacking midfield three of Jaden Nelson, JC Ngando, Ali Ahmed. And up top is Daniel Rios. For Forge FC, in goal we have Yasim Kolalat. The back four of Rezart Rama, Daniel, Alexander Akinyoti Janssen, Marco Jevramovic. The midfield two of Alessandro Hajabrapur and Kyle Becker. The attacking midfield three of Tristan Borges, Mo Babuli, Nana Mpoma, and up top, Brian Wright. How we doing, Dillon? How we doing, Connor? You have. Don't. Either way. Tie game, penalty shootout. Vancouver outright win, Vancouver advances. Forge outright win, Forge advances. But we're going to find out. 90 minutes. And if it's a tie, we go straight to penalties after 90. So it's a late night, but Forge might beat two MLS teams on their way to a cup final, or Vancouver Whitecaps going for their quadruple back-to-back on October 1st, which we will cover no matter what. It is a final. How you feeling about Saturday? It doesn't matter. It is on One Soccer, yes, and FS2. Columbus should beat us, though, because Toronto's playing Columbus. You should beat us anyway. Wait. How am I feeling about Saturday? Are we playing? That's next week. Yeah, because they're both 3. Yeah. Yeah. Columbus should beat us. We're in Columbus. Our season's over. Columbus has to basically win. They need to win this game. They're scuffling a little bit. maybe that helps us, but our season's over, so what's the damn point? I'm still covering it, but I don't. I think Chelsea has a better chance than Arsenal to win the UCL. You can't do that because they're playing each other, but Vamos Forge. Papaya rules say it's our time to win. That was a crazy game. I wish Jonathan David scored, but he did not. Honestly, it sounded like Jonathan David had a bad game. There are some Juventus fans that were like, well, he opened it up for Vlahovic, though. So do that what you will. Arsenal fans are dumb. Acting like we didn't already know Arsenal fans are dumb. Chelsea has a better chance to win the Champions League than Arsenal. And I legit believe that. I legit believe it. So, promise David scored, though, yes. Toby. He did score, yes. Which is awesome. Happy for him. The Blue Jays, let's see their score. Bottom of the 8th, and the Blue Jays allow a run. Little allows a run. Six to 4. 5 outs away from winning the game. I mean, Miami's bipolar. Very, very bipolar. That's all I could say. All right. Blue Jays are 5 outs away from winning their game. They just gave up a run. It's a 2-run lead for the Toronto Blue Jays. By the way, Texas is losing to Houston, so if both the Jays and Houston win, that's a 2 magic number, I think, which means it's possible that they clinch a playoff spot tomorrow. At least over the next 2 days. But they got to win this game first. Tottenham beat Villarreal. Not too surprising. Arsenal is a plus 600, tied for first rank to win the Champions League. What idiot. Okay, Vegas. How we doing, Rory? The second leg. It's been a month since the first leg of this tie. Thoughts on Karabakh playing in Europe when they're more east than Kabul? Well, here's the thing that gets me. Karabakh is from Azerbaijan. Formula One has a Grand Prix in Azerbaijan this Sunday. To Formula One, Azerbaijan is not in Europe because the way they talk about it is Italy, Monza was the last Italian Grand Prix, or last European Grand Prix of the year. But UEFA says Azerbaijan is Europe. I don't know what to believe. I'm confused. F1 says the European leg of the year is over. UEFA says Karabakh is European. And Azerbaijan is European. I'm confused. So that's my thoughts. I'll be live at 6 in the morning, by the way. By the way, I'll be live at 6 in the morning on Sunday morning. Don't worry. For that Grand Prix. Either way. This game will get going soon. And the Blue Jays have 2 on, 1 out. They just walked the dude. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would say so. Sadly, the thing that makes me mad is that at the TFC, they got the results they needed to stay alive. As long as they won, as long as TFC won on Saturday, they would have been alive this weekend and not eliminated, but they screwed it up for themselves. Chicago lost, Red Bull lost. We got the results we needed, we just couldn't win. Thank you, Jules. Jules Anthony Vilsan should have scored. Starting 11 for Vancouver: Bemer, Johnson, Blackman, Halbuni, Ocampo, Bodwall, Berhalter, Nelson, Ngondo, Ahmed, Rios. I know, I'm just saying. Formula One says one thing and UEFA says the other. It confuses me. Confuses me. Technically, if you think about it, the Formula One season still has one last European Grand Prix. That would be Baku on Sunday. Then you go to Singapore, then Austin, then Mexico, then Brazil, then Qatar, or then Vegas, then Qatar, then Saudi, then the UAE. Yes. Singapore is Asia. Qatar is Asia. UAE is Asia. North America, Mexico, Austin, Vegas, Brazil, South America. I'll allow that. It's no problem. Hey, if he goes to Germany, I'm proud of him. He deserves it. Starting 11 for Forge: Kolalot, Jevremovic, Akinyoti Janssen, Daniel, Rezart Rama, Kyle Becker, Hajabrapur, Borges, Babuli, Wright, and Poma for Forge. Carballo got hurt, yeah. Come on, Forge. Let me listen to this. Hold on. Let's go, Forge from Buenos Aires. Well, hello to Argentina. Wow, that's awesome. Forge spans the globe. So, should one club hold multiple slots and win the Canadian Championship, the runner-up club of the Canadian Championships have qualified to round one of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. If the runner-up holds multiple slots, then the semifinal club in the Canadian Championship with the best results will qualify to round one of the competition. I don't think that second part of the rule will matter. I don't think that would matter because guess what? The runner-up of this tournament, if Vancouver, I think it's more of a Forge rule than anything else. I mean, yeah, Vancouver could win the Shield and they could win the MLS Cup or be high enough in the standings to make the CONCACAF through MLS standings because they're that good. Let's be real. I think it's more of a Forge rule, though, because they're probably winning the North Star Shield. North Star Shield. They're probably winning the North Star Cup. If Ottawa makes the final of this tournament and flips over the tie, overturns their deficit and makes the final and plays Forge, then it would have to be Vancouver FC that makes CONCACAF, right? Because the Whitecaps will probably already be in. And if Forge makes the CPL final with Ottawa, Ottawa would be in the CONCACAF Champions Cup through CPL. So, Vancouver FC, very likely, if they don't screw up the semifinal and Forge makes the final, they will be going to the Champions Cup with only being bottom of the CPL. That's going to be hilarious. That's going to be hilarious, honestly. That is going to be hilarious. If Forge wins tonight, where that's outright or on penalties, they would be in the Canadian Championship final. They're probably going to beat Vancouver FC if Vancouver FC, the CPL side, holds on to winning that semifinal. There's no way they lose to Forge or beat Forge at Tim Hortons Field. No way. So, no way. Forge is going to win the North Star Shield. I would believe so. Even with their dip in form a little bit, especially in the league, they're going to win the North Star Shield. While that being said, Ottawa is the second place team in the CPL. In theory, they're going to play Forge in their round to get the ticket to the final and host the final. The loser of that would have to play the winner of the 3-4-5 little repechaje at home to go to the final. If the playoff... Probably, Ottawa should make the final of the Canadian Premier League. Unless they bottle that too. With that being said, the game's about to start here in Vancouver. Whitecaps wearing their blue and gold. Forge wearing white. 90 minutes. 90 minutes to decide a finalist. Can Forge win this game or win on penalties? I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. I'm tired of this Vancouver dominance. I'm tired of it. Be nice to see Forge end it. That'd be amazing. Well, Vancouver Whitecaps can also qualify now through MLS. The new CONCACAF Champions Cup does allow Canadian teams to qualify through MLS and Leagues Cup. Vancouver probably will be good enough by the table with the Leagues Cup qualifiers to qualify to Champions Cup through the MLS. It most likely, and we're off, most likely, if they don't win this tournament. And they can still win the MLS Cup. But now that they've expanded it and had the Leagues Cup, MLS teams that are Canadian can also qualify through MLS, which I think that was a blind spot that needed to be fixed, and I'm glad it is. Not that it's ever going to favor Toronto at some point, but unless we'll call the Pirate, but that's neither here nor there. Corner for Forge. Either way, I'm saying this rule change for the Can Champs is probably more of a Forge thing than a Vancouver thing. Vancouver was probably the side of it like, yeah, they could qualify through MLS, but that's probably just going to go down to Vancouver FC or Ottawa. Forge, header. That's cleared. Becker heads it forward. Borges to cross. Akinyoti Janssen loses it. Borges back in. Saved. Saved by Bemmer. And it's still 0-0. That was the chance. Straight to a shootout. Straight to a shootout. And no away goals. And this tournament doesn't have away goals this year. So as of now, it would go straight to a shootout if it holds for 89 minutes. The Blue Jays got out of it. Let's go. 6-4. Yes. Lovely. Thank you, Sir Anthony. Thank you. We're going to have to see Hoffman pitch, won't we? Yeah. Playing Fords Vancouver. 2 minutes in. Ooh. Ali Ahmed. Probably the best player on this current Vancouver squad that's playing right now, I should say. Of course, Thomas Muller's on the bench. Brian White is hurt. Ryan Gould is hurt. 3 minutes in. Very even so far, but Forge, they're up for it. Why wouldn't they be? It's Forge. Thomas Muller, well, he's on the bench. He'll probably play at some point tonight, especially if Forge is up. Man, what a save by Bemer. Dude, that was the moment for Forge. They needed that. They needed that goal. That's not one you don't get. That's not one you get away with not getting. It's a late game because it's in Vancouver. Well, if you're in Vancouver, it's not a late game. It's 7 o'clock over there, but hold on. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock over in Vancouver, but that's normal. Now, if you're on the East Coast, it's a very late game. If you're Central Time, it's a late game. Not that I'm complaining. 4 minutes in, 0-0. See you, Sean. Oh, Tim Weah scored against Real Madrid. Okay. Mbappe had 2 penalties. Mbappe scored 2 penalties. That's all he can score. Oh, Asia, actually. Oh, okay. Well, technically, when you say late game, technically you could also call it an early game, knowing how time zones work over there, or at least the reverse of it. Like when Sasuke comes on 3 in the morning for me. So that's 6 p.m. over there in Japan. 10:15 a.m. Technically, that's early. Well, yeah, true. And I'm just using Japan as an example, but I don't know. Over the top. So that's how the Singapore race is normal time for me, but at night over there, got it. Got it. Talk about Formula One. Jaden Nelson and Gondo. And Gondo has a chance. Kolalot covers cleared corner for Vancouver. Okay, Philippines. All right. I think the time zones are very similar with Japan and Philippines, I think. Blue Jays have 3 outs to not allow 2 runs. 6 minutes in. Yeah, because aren't they sort of the same longitude? Kyle Raleigh hit 2 home runs. That's 56. Dude's going to hit 60. Corner, 7 minutes in for Vancouver. Damn, BC place isn't full. I'm shocked. Ball crossed in. Punched away. Goal! Goal for the Whitecaps! Off the corner. And Tristan Blackmon scores. And it's 3-2 on aggregate. It's going to get tougher. Forge have to score. See what I mean? Bolt punched away and Blackman's right there. Well, Kolalot didn't even get a hand to it. Tristan Blackmon heads it. See if it hit his arm. Not that it matters because Forge thinks there was a foul there. So it was always going to be tough. It was always going to be tough to go to Vancouver and pull this one out. And it's 1-0. 7 minutes in for the Whitecaps. It's 1-0 on the night. 3-2 on aggregate. So as of now, Vancouver will go to their 4th straight final. unless Forge could score at least one goal and not allow another. If they could score 2 and not allow another, then Forge would win. So it's an outright win or a draw. That's all that can happen here. Borges with a cross, and they do not get it there. Be a free kick the other way, far from over. You're right, but it is a CPL team versus an MLS team at an MLS stadium against one of the best teams in the MLS this year. So, Nashville SC made the Open Cup final. How we doing, William? Nashville SC beat Philadelphia to go to play Austin or Minnesota United on October 1st. So Nashville's going to the U.S. Open Cup final. They beat Philadelphia 3-1. Huh. Damn, Philadelphia must be sucking right now. Gee. Sam Surridge hat trick. Nashville to the Open Cup final. I think Thomas Muller enters the second half. Well, I don't think he needs to anymore. Unless Forge gets one back quickly. Jaden Nelson's off the pitch for now. Bemmer to take the goal kick, and Forge is down a goal. Playing forward. Can Forge find an answer? Oh, playing forward. Borges, foul, free kick for Vancouver. Vancouver has a free kick. Come on, Forge. Find a way. All I ask is you find a way. Come on, Forge. We might have a Vancouver derby, the Can-Cham final, if nothing changes. Vancouver ain't losing that game, I'll tell you that much. Well, technically, yeah, that is a good point. But I'm talking about the Whitecaps. There's no way the Whitecaps lose to Vancouver FC. There's no way. No way. Playing forward. Foul, free kick for Forge. $11 minutes in. And a horrible giveaway by Forge. What were you doing, Alexander Akinyoti Janssen? What were you doing? Just plays the ball forward and then boom. 11 minutes in. One out on Tampa. Strikeout. And they tried to get him out at second. Cleared away. So there's a runner on third, one out, 2-run lead for the Blue Jays. Playing forward. Kyle Becker. And a free kick for Forge. Okay. Man. Jeff Hoffman's in for Sir Anthony Dominguez. Oh, this is going to get horrible. We're looking at the Jays game. Oh, no. Hoffman for 2 outs. I'm about to lose my mind. Go Forge. They got to find an answer. They got to find a goal. They got to find a goal. It's going to be tough, but that's life. 13 minutes in, 1-0 Vancouver. (3-2) on aggregate. Vancouver leads this semifinal. Rezart Rama against Jaden Nelson, who's back on Tristan Borges. Borges loses the ball. Tate Johnson plays it forward. Berhalter goes wide. Cross in. Shot save. Clear the damn ball. There we go. Forge got it cleared. What a save by Kolalot. On the doorstep. Ampoma. They're a little bit shaky, Forge. I got to say. Header on. I don't know. Early goal on a spawny header like that, that was always kind of a bad thing to give up. Ampoma, still Ampoma. It's out for a throw-in for Forge. What a save by Kolalot, though. On the doorstep, and Kolalot saves it. Perfect positioning for them to clear it once they realized they needed to clear the damn ball. Forge, Rama. Rama plays it through to Becker. Becker, that's out for another Forge throw. They're going to throw it high, and it gets cleared out for another throw-in. I kind of feel like Becker cheated forward a little bit there, but they didn't call it yet. Brought down, Ampoma loses it. Oh, that almost ended badly. Offside. Yes, it is. And it's a one-run game. 6-5. Blue Jays lead. 1 out, 1 on first base. Still checking it because I can. Yep, Jeff Hoffman gave up a run. Of course he did. Well, see how it goes. Got to get 2 outs. Playing forward is Vancouver. Jaden Nelson. Jaden Nelson still shot wide. Out for a corner. Got deflected wide. Out for a corner for Vancouver. They got their first goal off a corner. Second goal, let's hope they don't. Vancouver gets a second goal, especially if it's 2-0. That's probably game. It's probably game. So we can't let them score. Another corner and a 2-0 lead for Vancouver is probably game. Forge could probably find one. Maybe another one if it's a 2-1 deficit. But they ain't going to find 2. Header. They ain't going to find 2 on a 2 deficit. I love Forge, but it's going to be tough. Free kick for Forge. Playing forward. Ampoma, good keep up from him. Borges with a cross. And they just absolutely say, nah, I don't want any of this. Could have easily taken that ball forward, but no. Playing forward. Free kick for Forge. 3-2 full count. You want anything about the Blue Jays game? 3-2 full count. He could walk him. Jeff Hoffman's below this damn game. Borges gets fouled by Bodwall. Foul ball. Doesn't help, but Keeps the at-bat alive. Bodwall gets a yellow card, 18th minute. 1-0 for Vancouver, 3-2 on aggregate. Can Forge find a goal to tie this game up? Over the top. And Bemmer lets it out. Goal kick. Another foul ball. Again, we'll keep an eye on the Blue Jays game until it's over. Forge is trying to force a goal or something. Good pressing, Bemmer. Oh, you go for Vancouver because you're a Thomas Muller fan, you're a Bayern fan. Well, I do think Thomas Muller is a good player, but I wouldn't even call myself a Bayern fan. I just root for Alphonso Davies. I wish he wasn't there. I wish he went to Madrid or somewhere else. I look at Bayern like the Dallas Cowboys. If the Dallas Cowboys didn't have Dak Prescott, I would hate Dallas Cowboys. If Davies didn't play for Bayern, I would hate Bayern's guts. But no, because there's somebody that made Canada soccer relevant, I have to root for them. I still hate what Bayern stands for, but I got to root for Alphonso, yeah. Same with the Dallas Cowboys. I hate what the Dallas Cowboys stand for, and I hate Jerry Jones, but Dak Prescott made Mississippi State relevant, so I have to root for Dallas until Dak leaves. And I guess the Brandon Aubrey story is pretty cool, too, because he used to play for Toronto FC. But, that's cool. I ain't going to root for a team because they're kicker. I'll be happy for Brandon Aubrey if he does something good, but I ain't going to root for the Cowboys just because they're kicker. He did win an MLS Cup with Toronto on the squad, I should say. He didn't really do anything that year, but, he was on the squad. Either way, 20th minute, 1-0. And Poma still has the ball. Oh, he nutmegged him. He got Tate Johnson nutmeg. And Poma, cross. And nobody's there to put it away. 20th minute. Good tackle, but Jaden Nelson's right there. They let it out for a goal kick. Damn, man. And they strike out. 1 out away for the Blue Jays. 2 on, 2 out. Any out will work. Fly out, ground out, strike out, anything will work. Get the damn out. Get it out. Get the out. Messi broke his record. Paulinho Alcantara, a Filipino, was all-time top scorer in Barca's history with 395 goals and 399. That's awesome. That's awesome. Respect to the Philippines. Lovely. Playing forward. And Jake Mangum is possibly the last batter of this game. He's going to hit a home run and walk it off, isn't he? Mississippi State legend Jake Mangum, the mayor of Starkville, Mississippi. He's going to hit a home run to walk off the game. He will be the last batter. Whether he gets out or hits a walk-off home run, he will be the last batter. Please, Jake, strike out. I love you, Jake, but strike out. Don't do this to the Jays. Hail State, but please strike out, Jake. Please. Either way. 0-2. Come on. Come on, Hoffman. Don't let Jake Mangum make you look like an idiot. And he struck out. Blue Jays win. They almost blew it, but they won. Magic number is 3 until the Astros game is over. That'll be 2. Blue Jays win 6-5. Jake Mangum struck out. The mayor of Starkville struck out. Thank you, Jake. Good dog. Good dog. It's Mississippi State Bulldogs, either way. There you go, 23rd minute. Now let's focus on the can champ. Come on, Forge. We need a goal. Greetings to Peru. Saludos, Peru. The Philippines got a good basketball league, though. They really do. They really do. Another one for Vancouver? Don't. Damn it. Please tell me you're just hoping they get another one. 25th minute. One 0 for Vancouver. The magic number is 3 for the Toronto Blue Jays. It might just be 2 in a couple of hours. We're going to have to pay attention to the Astros game. As of now, if the Astros hold on for 2 more innings, the Blue Jays' magic number for a playoff berth will be 2. And they could qualify tomorrow. If they win their match and the Astros win again tomorrow, if the Astros win tonight, the Blue Jays will be a playoff team. Confirmed playoff team. Then it's all eyes on the AL East. And then after that, it'll be all eyes on the American League. I don't know if we'll have the best league record in the MLB. That's probably all eyes on the World Series. But with that being said, 26th minute. (26 minutes), 1-0. 1-0. Nelson. Jaden Nelson has a chance to take the shot. Saved by Colalot. A short pass to Borges. Short pass to Borges. 26th minute. Playing forward. Playing forward. And Vancouver has the ball. Do you like rugby? Yeah, I do. I don't watch it as much as other sports, but I mean, I do watch rugby. I like it. I wish the Toronto Wolfpack were still a thing besides a marketing ploy. Like, they're still trying to find their way around in North American rugby, but if you remember, they were in the Super League, the Toronto Wolfpack. The English Rugby League, that's wide for a goal kick, which that's kind of where it started. They got to the Super League, and then COVID hit. So that was sad, and then they got pulled out of the European or the English Super League Rugby because of COVID, and now they're trying to find their way in North American rugby, which, 1-0. 3-2 on aggregate. Playing forward, can Forge find a goal? And Gondo with a shot. It's in. JC Gondo off the post and in. 2-0. 4-2 on aggregate, and that's probably the tie. There it is for you. JC Gondo probably just put Vancouver into the Canadian Championship final for the 4th straight year, and very likely probably just won it for them. Damn it. Amazing finish by Ngondo, though. Amazing finish. They didn't even try to close him down. 2-0, which means 4-2 on aggregate. Forge is going to have to find some special moment to save their own ass and just get it to penalties. I don't know if they're going to find 2 goals while down 2. I don't know. 29th minute was the goal. I don't know if they're going to find 2. Thomas Muller ain't even playing right now. So it's not over till it's over, but it's probably over. Yeah, it's not over till it's over, but they still got to bring on Thomas Muller, which I don't even know if they'll do at this point. But Forge finding 2 goals in Vancouver on the road, down 2. They're going to have to pull some out of their ass without allowing anything. Acting like they weren't already disciplined and good in the first place. You're acting like they weren't already disciplined and good as a team in the first place. Like what? You have to be disciplined to make CONCACAF final, especially as an MLS team. I don't like Vancouver, and I think they're redheaded stepchildren that need to be under Toronto's boot. But I know one thing about CONCACAF. If you're an MLS team that makes the Champions League final, you have to be disciplined. Muller didn't. He's a good player, but he didn't add discipline to this team. He just added a lot more potential to this team. Well, at least Forge can still win the CPL. So that's good. Shot over the bar. It does help. How much, though? They already made the Champions Cup final, and the only reason they lost is they got the shits. It's not like Vancouver lost because they weren't meant to be there. They got lucky. No, they deserved to be there. They just, when they got there, got the shits. I don't think German discipline could stop the shits from happening. Unless, I don't think he knows anything about Montezuma's revenge. The veteran presence. Then how'd they make a Champions Cup final without him? The best, and honestly, you could arguably say, yeah, the 7-0 was awesome, but Vancouver was at their best without him this year. Now, could they easily pick up their form during the playoffs and this run-in to have an MLS Cup win? Sure. Wouldn't shock me. But right now, Vancouver's best form this year was without him. That's when they got to the Champions Cup final and were unbeaten. Untouchable, except for Toronto's draw against them, like before the final? Like during, the semifinal run or something? I don't know how Toronto drew them in BMO. That's crazy. Cross in, save. I don't know how that happened, but either way. They were on the road and got the shits. It's like all people remember now is the 5-0. I don't know. Why are you making me defend the redheaded stepchildren? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? They should be under Toronto's boot. Vancouver should be under Toronto's boot, and you're making me defend them. What are you doing to me? They should be under Toronto's boot. Acting like the 5-0 was like that's the only thing. Why are we forgetting how they got there? Why are we forgetting how good Vancouver was up until that final? Like, why are we forgetting just because of the 5-0? And we're not even looking at the context of why it was a 5-0. Why are we forgetting how they got there? Why are you making me defend Vancouver? Why are you making me defend the redheaded stepchildren that should be under Toronto's boot? Why? This is like if Southern Miss was the best team in Mississippi in college football. This should not be happening. They should not be better than Toronto and Montreal, Vancouver. They should be under both of our boots. But they're not. Vancouver should be both under Toronto and Montreal's boot. Both of them. Just like Southern is under Mississippi State and Ole Miss's boot. Even when Mississippi State was 2-10, Southern was still under their boot. There is an order to these things. There is an order to these things. Vancouver should be under the boot of Toronto and Montreal. The redheaded stepchild should be under the boot of Toronto and Montreal. This is weird. This should not be happening. I don't trust Montreal to do it, but if you call it a pirate, they will be under Toronto's boot again, as they should be. But that's neither here nor there right now. You're making me defend Vancouver? What are we doing? Dos a cero esta noche. 4-2 global. Vancouver ganador esta noche. Y la serie. TFC washed. As I said, if they call the pirate, then Vancouver will be back under our boot. Nobody else, though. Nobody else, though. Boot. Yeah, it's called a jersey collection. They have a cool jersey in there. I have a jersey collection. The only jersey I'll never get is a Montreal one. I don't look at Vancouver. As I just said, I don't see Vancouver as a rival. I see them as a redheaded stepchild. Why is it a bad thing for me to have a Vancouver jersey? I don't see them as a rival. I see them as a redheaded stepchild that should be under Toronto's boot. There's a difference. Like, yeah, no, I want Toronto to beat them when we play them. And also I wanted Forge to win this tie because, Forge fan too. But they're not a rival to me. They're only a rival when they play us. I do not give a shit about them until they don't play us. If they're not playing us, they don't matter. The Vancouver fans are the ones who feel like Toronto's their rival without playing them. I just think they should be under our boot. Which, when you play them, that means you win. They're not a rival to me. Seattle's more of a rival to me than Vancouver, frankly. Well, you technically want Toronto fans to sing a version of Dixieland Delight saying F Montreal, Seattle, and Vancouver. What do you mean? They're not a rival to you, Rod. Again, under our boot. That's more of a get under our boot. You shouldn't be where you are. Get back under our boot thing. Then totally go F yourself. Like Montreal. Also get back under our boot, but you're scum. That's for Montreal. And they're still under our boot. We're horrible too, and they're still under our boot. So either way. How many times have I said under our boot? Jesus Christ. Somebody, if they're drinking when I say under their boot, somebody's got freaking alcohol poisoning, I bet. Sorry. He's not wrong, though. He's not wrong. I never would. And if somebody put one on my stoop, I'll microwave it. If somebody somehow got a Montreal jersey to my stoop, I will microwave the fucker. On camera. Welcome to Is It a Good Idea to Microwave This? I'm your host, Ryan Anderson. Now, do we have a sidekick? I don't know. But if we do, here they are. Welcome to the Ryan Anderson Microwave Laboratory 2.0. Safety? We didn't think about it. That's why we hide behind this giant tinfoil shield to protect our nuts, because nobody likes roasted nuts. We also have a giant fan to circulate the air, and as always, our sharp carousel microwave. We didn't think of it. That's why. Playing forward. '40th minute, 2-0. So yeah, if there was a microwave or a Montreal jersey that landed up on my stoop, it's getting microwaved on 401 Derby week. And you will see a video of it going up in flames inside of a microwave. And it'll be a very good idea. A very good idea. You don't even have to wait for it to be finished. I can tell you right now, it's a very good idea. Oh, geez. No. '41st minute. And that's wide for a goal kick. I'm not angry at you. There's no reason for me to be. I don't even think I'm angry right now anyway. Trust me, it could be so much worse. Am I a little bit peeved? Maybe. Am I angry? No. Not at you, though. Honestly, I feel like I'm more happy than anything, so you're good in my book. How about a Montreal Expos jersey? Well, that's not an Impact jersey. I would gladly wear an Expos jersey because there still should be the Montreal Expos in baseball. I never had a problem with the Expos, or the Habs for that matter. So, no, I'd wear a Vladdy Jr. Expos jersey, but that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. Or a Vladdy Sr. Did I say Vladdy Jr. or Sr.? Either way, the Expos should still be around. And I hope they come back. Or throwback Gary Carter jersey. Or throwback Tom Brady jersey. Because, you know, Tom Brady got drafted by the Expos. And, well, you know, Tommy. I have a picture of Tommy right there. You know, that's my quarterback. I'd gladly wear a throwback Expos Tom Brady jersey. Why aren't they selling those? Why aren't they selling those? Well, that's what I'm used to at this point, is Vladdy Jr., so that's what I'm used to at this point. Either way. And Bodwall puts it wide. So, fair enough. Either way. Why aren't they selling throwback Brady Expos jerseys? Jackasses like me would buy them easily. Does that mean you would buy a Michigan Brady jersey? Yes. I mean, I prefer Michigan over Ohio State. So it would have been good for me to have that Michigan jersey when they made the national title game. But either way, I did not. Ball crossed in. But if I had to choose between Michigan and Ohio State, I'd choose Michigan. And Poma goes wide and gets brought down. That'll be a goal kick. I hate Ohio State. I hate them. I can't stand Ohio State. I can't stand them. Then again, when it comes to Northerner college football teams, my true favorite out of the Northerner college football teams is Notre Dame. Then the Illini second. Illinois fighting Illini second. I like seeing the Illini be good. I like seeing Illinois be good. That's fine by me. Illinois is actually good, which is cool. But it's Notre Dame for me. For reasons, of course. That some of you obviously know what that reason is. And some of you, well, you can't add 2 plus 2 together. And some of you, well, you're new here. Some of you can't add 2 plus 2 together. And well, some of you are new here. But some of you know. Same reason I bandwagon the Steelers. Happy about it, though. Very happy about it, though. Either way, which this week I might just troll that reason if Mississippi State beats Northern Illinois. Because let's remember, Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois last year. Mississippi State has no business. They should beat Northern Illinois, but it would be kind of weird if Mississippi State beat Northern Illinois and not Notre Dame. In theory, we should lose. Because we're Mississippi State. If we go 4-0, no. No, it's going to be said. Beating North Illinois ain't for everybody, but it's sure for the Bulldogs. And then we get ranked and they drop out of the top 25. And by day, I mean Notre Dame. And by day, I mean Notre Dame. 1 minute to go. 2-0. 4-2 on aggregate. It's horrible. I feel like the soul of WWE is gone. I feel like even if I kind of don't want the ESPN Unlimited thing to connect to YouTube TV now. I don't. Because honestly, I'm going to be real. I'm totally okay with retiring with John Cena, so to speak. With what the shit TKO is pulling, like, I won't lie. Watching that first hour of NXT Homecoming made me happy. That's the soul that I'm talking about. Watching NXT Homecoming, them using Coming Home or Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria, using Roar the Crowd, going back to Full Sail, War Games, DIY, like watching that first hour of NXT Homecoming before this came on, that's the soul I'm talking about. I felt like, damn, that's the WWE I'm going to miss. But either way, if I do choose to say fuck it and Cena's gone, 2-0 at the half. Pardon my French. 2-0 at the half, 4-2 on aggregate. Forge are down and they're probably not coming back. But let's see. We got 45 minutes. We'll take a short break soon. But I honestly, how How is Montreal one of the most popular teams over there? What? What? It really is Toronto versus everybody. See, there's a reason why I say TFC and Starkville, Mississippi State are very similar. It's Toronto versus everybody, and it's Starkville versus everybody. See, I say it for a reason. Like, everybody's like, well, we know Ole Miss, but we don't know Mississippi State. I guess also we know Montreal, but we don't know Toronto. Shit, we made it. Well, we both made a CCL final. Hell, all three of us have Canadian teams. At least we were the ones who almost won. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying WWE has no soul anymore. I'm just saying I actually felt the soul for once in 6 months. Besides the John Cena segments, like I felt a whole lot of soul watching NXT Homecoming. That I felt like there's the soul that I see is gone, so to speak. Vince McMahon might be a piece of shit, but he never would have put a Mania in Saudi Arabia. That's my point. Vince McMahon might be a piece of shit. Honestly, no, he is as a person. But he never, and I mean never, would have put a Mania in Saudi Arabia. Now, the Saudi Arabia deal, he did start that. But I don't think he ever thought he was going to put a WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. I think there's a difference here. That deal may have paved the way for this, but Vince would have never done that. Vince would have never. Vince at least knew where his bread was buttered. The family. The middle-class family who grew up loving WWE and the kids grow up loving WWE with the parents who used to watch the WWE. He knew where his bread was buttered. Vince is a piece of shit. But they're making Vince look good. They're making Vince look like, you know what, maybe he isn't so bad. Well, he's already going through shit that should make him look bad. That takes a whole idiotic freaking group of people to do that. Like, they're making Vince look good in a moment where he should look like the freaking devil. And they're making him look good. How incompetent do you have to be? I don't care if it's Ari Emanuel, Dana White, Rock, Triple H, Mark Shapiro, Khan. I don't care. How incompetent do you have to be to make Vince look good in a time where he should look like the devil? How incompetent do you have to be? I'm on Forge. I'm on the Forge side. So, see, there's anger, by the way. How incompetent do you have to be? Oh, and it's funny because TKO Boxing, free on Netflix. UFC, free on Paramount Plus. WWE, $30 a month if you don't have the right cable affiliate. Stupid. Stupid. So you're telling me TKO Boxing, Zuffa Boxing, Dana White Boxing, free on Netflix. Good fight, by the way, between Canelo and Terrence Bud Crawford. Amazing fight. UFC is going to be for free. Everything on Paramount Plus next year. WWE, $30 a month unless you have the right cable package, or you have enough money to shit out $30 a month just for pay-per-views. Because you already have the cable or YouTube TV for the channels. And for me, it's only 6 pay-per-views a year because of this damn league playing on Saturdays. If it ain't for free. Oh, and by the way, you're losing Formula One. By the way, Fox or ESPN's losing Formula One. Man, if you had Formula One TV on there, now that might be worth $30 a month with the pay-per-views. But you're losing Formula One. Where that goes to Apple, or I could get Formula One TV. I would prefer getting Formula One TV and being able to use that than Apple. Let's be real. If I was able to choose, either way, $30 a month. So everything else is for free. Like everything else TKO does for pay-per-views is for free, but the WWE isn't. Either you think that makes the most money or that has the most profitability out of the three, or you're just assholes. I love all three. I love boxing. I love UFC. I love the WWE. I love all three. I'm so glad. Maybe it's time for me to grow up. Maybe this is the sign. Maybe it's time for me to grow up and just watch boxing and the UFC. Maybe that's what this is telling me. You're 25, Ryan. You're going to be 26 next year. Grow up. Watch the adult stuff. Watch the stuff adults should watch, not wrestling. Maybe that's what this is telling me. I don't know. Either way. I love boxing. Always have. I love the UFC. Always have. What are you telling me? Either way, we got to take a short break before I get caught up by the second half. So we'll take a short break and talk about the stats. We're back for the stats, the half. The only way I get ESPN Unlimited is if YouTube TV puts it on there for free. That's the only way. I ain't spending $30 a month for 6 pay-per-views. You're out of your mind. Hell, barely even 12. If I was watching every pay-per-view and every 2-night show, maybe I would, but it would be still probably no. If I'm only 6 pay-per-views a year, you're out of your mind. With some of those being 2-time shows or 2-day shows. No. It better be for free. I already have the channels on YouTube TV. I don't need ESPN Unlimited. That all I can paying $30 a month for 6 pay-per-views that I know I'm able to watch, and maybe another 1 or 2 that ends up being able to watch for reasons. Okay. But at least I know 6. It ain't worth it. If it's for free, really? That's what gets him fired? Jokes about Pedro Pascal? What the hell did he say? What the hell did he say about Pedro Pascal? Stats the half. 55% possession to 45% possession. 10 shots to 2. 5 shots on goal to 1. 229 accurate passes, 87% to 185, 85%. 9 fouls to 6. 2 corners to 1. 10 shots to 2. 5 shots on goal to 1. 264 passes to 217. 87% pass accuracy to 85% pass accuracy. 7 throws to 14. 0 offside to 2. 1 yellow card to 2. 0 red card to 0. 2-0 at the half. Yeah, Forge has probably lost this tie. Let's be real. They need to score 2 goals without allowing any in 45 minutes. Just go to a shootout. The way Vancouver's playing, nah, that won't happen. Maybe Forge gets 1 back, but they got to get 1 back quickly if they want any chance to tie this game up. If they don't get 1 by the 50th minute or 60th minute, they're probably cooked. So there's my thoughts. Vancouver has them exactly right where they want them. So do that what you will. Do that what you will. Blue Jays' magic number is 3. And let's see. Can the Astros take the Texas Rangers out to make it 2? They're an out away. One strike away for the Astros to end the game. And there's a hit by Jonah Heim. Tim Weah scored against Madrid. Yeah, I saw. So it's 2 on, 1 or 2 on, 2 out. Texas, they got a runner in scoring position. Of course, the Astros can answer. The Rangers are playing on the road. The Astros will be able to answer with the bat if Texas scores before the end of this inning. They have a runner in scoring position, that being Josh Smith. Josh Smith. This game matters to the Blue Jays. That's why I care. Their magic number will be 2 if the Astros could get out of this. They're 3 strikes away. Problem is will they get out of it? Probably not. Let's go Blue Jays. And let's go Astros. I want to puke. Let's go Astros. I want to puke. Andres Cubas is on for Vancouver for the second half. That's 1 strike. Forge is put on. I think they made a sub as well. Jose Masunda. And we're off. 45 minutes to go. Come on, Forge. I need you to find a goal. At least 1, then let's find the other. 2 strikes, 2 and 2. Cubas is on for Vancouver in the midfield. And there's a strikeout. Houston beats the Rangers. Houston beats the Rangers. Magic number down to 2 for the Toronto Blue Jays to make the playoffs. And Jose Masunda is on for Forge. Yep, there was the sub. The Blue Jays have won the first hour of it before this game started because the local news pushing an hour, you know. I think it was supposed to come on at 7, but our local news comes on at 7, so it pushed it an hour down. So I watched the first hour. It was pretty good. 46 minute. The Mariners still lead the AL West. Lovely. Would be nice to see you all in the playoffs. And this time we beat you. We need some revenge for 2022. Hopefully the ALCS. That would be nice. Blue Jays. It's the Blue Jays year, but they are 2. Their magic number is now 2 to make the playoffs. Playing forward. Nelson goes across the face of goal. And the Athletics have been eliminated. The Sacramento Athletics have been eliminated. Central FC just beat Mocha. Whoa. I'm probably not watching the other half. I should have recorded it, but I didn't. So you could say what you want about it. I'm not. Well, hold on. If it's on Tubi, because I know NXT has a deal with Tubi, screw it. It doesn't matter. I've watched shows with spoilers before anyway. There's no John Cena appearance, right? There's no John Cena or Sami Zayn appearance, right? Does it matter? I've watched freaking SmackDown with spoilers until it became live, so it doesn't matter. Watch half the show anyway. 47th minute. I really just wanted to see what the stage looked like at Full Sail and how they opened the show. That was amazing. See, there's the soul I feel with wrestling. I was like, well, there's the soul of wrestling that I've been missing for the past, besides John Cena. Yellow card. Goal kick for Forge, though. 48th minute. Or was there a... Hold on. I mean, he did push him down. Yeah, that's probably a penalty. Off the ball. A penalty for Vancouver, I think. I think there's a penalty for Vancouver. Jevramovic gets a yellow card, pushing down a player on the corner. And this might be the game. Sebastian Berhalter to truly wrap it up. I saw the Triple H and HBK segment. That was a good opening as well. Yeah. Sebastian Berhalter to end this tie. Sebastian Berhalter versus Kolalat. Goal. Sebastian Berhalter. 3-0. Just won Forge's night. $3-0. What an idiotic play by Jevramovic to give away the penalty, and here we are. Shit. Damn good penalty by Berhalter, though. 3-0 for Vancouver. 5-2 on aggregate. Even if Forge gets one back, we're done and dusted. Vancouver's going to the final, and they're going to host the final. Will it be against Vancouver FC or Atletico Ottawa? That's the question. 49th minute. Will it be a Vancouver derby or will it be Ottawa versus Vancouver Whitecaps? Now I want Vancouver Whitecaps to win the final. I don't want another CPL team winning this tournament before Forge does. Well, it doesn't matter to me. Well, as of now, I don't. If the Pirate was to be called, I wouldn't give a shit. Unless Toronto somehow got eliminated from this tournament. over my dead body. But if somehow Toronto bottled it, then I'd want Forge to win. Ball Crawlstead saved. Not that it matters. Have you ever watched Vince McMahon's XFL? I mean, I've seen documentaries about it. I've seen highlights from it, but I was too young for it. I was just a baby when it was a thing. It's really hard to find those games. I'm not going to lie. It's damn near lost media, like a full game. Like, here's the funny thing about that. It's a damn near lost media, you know? There's old MLB games. Like, look up, this is where you find baseball. Cardinals baseball classics. Other channels. There are old baseball games from the early 2000s and earlier and later on YouTube. There are old NFL games. There are old hockey games in full on YouTube from that era, but nobody, it feels like nobody has Vince McMahon's XFL on YouTube or on the internet. It feels like lost media, especially a full game. I'd like to watch a full game because I'd like to see how it all came together. I've seen highlights, I've seen the documentaries, but it feels like the full games are lost media with acceptable quality, by the way. What, you're telling me somebody didn't have that on their VHS that they could digitalize and put on YouTube? Again, look at all these old baseball games, like Cardinals Baseball Classics. Lovely channel, by the way. Dude had games from the Mark McGwire home run chase. And before that, 96, when they made the NLCS, when they got rid of the Sands and Belt pants and all that. Either way. Yeah, I saw the 2020 XFL when St. Louis was there, and then COVID ruined it. Then I saw the XFL after he sold it to Rock. But you were talking about the original XFL, not the 2020 XFL. I thought the 2020 XFL was awesome. I really do. I wish COVID didn't happen. And the St. Louis Battlehawks are still doing well, which I'm not surprised. But the Battlehawks, like, what is even more awesome is that the Battlehawks, with that 2-year or so break, are still doing amazing. St. Louis wants football. And we got screwed by Stan Kroenke. We hate Stan Kroenke in this house. Part of why I hate Arsenal. Stan Kroenke screwed St. Louis. I'm glad the Battlehawks are in St. Louis. And I'm glad that people still go to those games. And I'm glad that even when COVID came around, the Battlehawks, there was still hype around that team. And they got to come back, and they're still around, and they're still hosting XFL title games, XFL or UFL title games as well. That they want to put it in St. Louis because they know St. Louis is going to qualify or try to qualify for it and also sell out. You know, so. I don't think so. I think they just had Regal do the War Games thing for memes, which that was awesome, by the way. I loved it. I was happy to see Regal. They brought him out just to say War Games for the memes. I love it. I love it. Based Regal. And that's offside, really? 55th minute. Based Regal. I want that. Yeah. Like, I would love that. If he was actually planting the seeds for a match in San Diego and they weren't just doing it for the memes, you may be right. But Shinsuke, Sammy Balor, Gargano Ciampa versus Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Obafemi. Who else? Maybe you'd have to pull from somebody who's on the main roster that was in Sean's NXT. Carmelo Hayes, which they kind of did already. You need Carmelo Hayes and can we count Joe Hendry? Can we count Joe Hendry or no? Because if we can count Joe Hendry, we need Joe Hendry. But honestly, I love Shinsuke. I love Finn. But I'd rather it be Sammy, Gargano, Ciampa, Aleister Black, and I don't know if you want to turn Balor face. It'd be kind of hard to play with. Balor, leave him with a Judgment Day. I love Finn. Aleister Black is back, so we need him in there. Gargano, Ciampa, Sammy, Aleister Black, and then one of Shinsuke or Balor. If you want Balor in there so bad, have him paint himself. Have him do the demon. Forget all the Judgment Day. Have him paint himself. Act like it's a totally different Balor. Even though he did paint himself once under the Judgment Day. Either way, red and white and black painted Finn Balor. And act like it's a totally different Finn Balor. Don't even talk about the Judgment Day if that's how you want that to work. But Aleister Black over Shinsuke, because at least Aleister Black kind of has some heat still. Kevin Owens is hurt, so yeah. But either way. Or if you, or Tyler Breeze. Or Tyler Breeze over Shinsuke / Aleister. If we can't use Shinsuke, I'd rather them use Tyler Breeze over Aleister Black. Let's be real. Let's be real. Hey, they just got Tyler Breeze to be on NXT tonight, so, you know. Tyler Breeze. Fuck, I would hate to miss that pay-per-view. I might have to pirate that one if YouTube isn't. I might, if they actually do it in San Diego, I might. Does WatchWrestling.com still work? Or would I have to find something else? Yeah, I know about WatchWrestling.com. I watched, I think it was the one where AJ and Shinsuke wrestled, but I remember it wasn't live because it was after it happened. I think it was the same day though, but I think, yeah, I used WatchWrestling.com to watch Wrestle Kingdom the year that Shinsuke and AJ wrestled with my Nana. So I think it was the Internet Explorer on the Blu-ray player. But yeah, and I know WatchWrestling.com. Does it still work? Just in case. I don't want Disney Plus. Besides, I already have a Disney account that's signed to Hulu and ESPN Plus. So either have to make a new account to do the bundle or cancel everything just to do the bundle. I feel like that's too much work. I don't need unlimited because I already have the channels on YouTube TV. I mean, I agree. We should do or hell, they could have their main roster war games, but one of the war games matches, hell, let's do 3. Since you're only doing 5-match pay-per-views, you jackasses, let's do 3. Let's do 3 war games matches. NXT versus, current NXT versus the black and gold NXT. The women's war games and then the men's. That John Cena's probably in. I think John Cena's going to be on Survivor Series, right? I think he is. Either way, John Cena's in the men's match for some reason. I don't know. Well, because it's his retirement tour, but they'll find a way. You know, they'll find a way. They'll find a way. So, how about just 3? Cena's first War Games. What are you talking about? Well, it depends on where they play. Honestly, Vancouver's the better team anyway. So the most case scenario is they play each other in MLS Cup, and the very likely scenario is that game would be in Vancouver. I think Vancouver wins. Miami's playing on turf. We already saw how that ended. That did not end well when they played in Seattle. Second of all, Miami is bipolar as all hell. Depends on how good Messi plays, but how good would he play on turf? By the way, didn't Miami play Seattle and Miami tonight? I don't know. Do you think Miami will win the Supporters' Shield? No, they're too bipolar for it, but they won't go to the wild card either. They'll be like 3rd seed or 4th seed with the games in hand. They're not winning the Shield, though. They can if they win all their games in hand. They won't, though. They won't be a wild card team, though. Ahmed, why? Really? Why does Vancouver wants to kill them? The Blue Jays are the 3rd best team in the MLB, and they're a game behind the Phillies. Central FC beat Mocha 2-0, by the way. Okay, listen. Triple H notices he doesn't have the numbers and he can't trust anyone. He needs one more member. Cena, Sammy, Alistair, Ciampa, and Gargano. Well, does Cena trust Triple H, though? Yeah, Cena being the hero helps Team Black and Gold NXT. Okay. I'd rather them just do 3 War Games matches and Cena's in the main one. Whatever bullshit they have to make up, just have Cena in the main War Games match. You're only doing a 5-match pay-per-view show, you know? I mean, you're going to have to figure out some bullshit to put Cena in the War Games match of either or, you know? You're going to have to figure out some bullshit. I think it's easier with the main roster War Games match that I don't know. Is it the Judgment Day or is it Bloodline or is it Seth Rollins' division versus John Cena joins the Bloodline and helps the Usos because he's a heel or face, I should say. Like it's Seth Rollins' division and then like the Usos and CM Punk and John Cena and Sami Zayn. Well, then you got problems. And like Roman Reigns comes back, helps the Usos, and he's like, hey, John and Punk, I kind of need y'all to help. Punk's like, yeah, I want to beat Seth Rollins' ass again. And then like Drew McIntyre and LA Knight join up with a Vision for some reason. I don't know. True, but then why is this pay-per-view only 5 matches? The only pay-per-views that Triple H has booked that did not have or had more than 5 matches on it are WrestleManias. Hell, even both nights of SummerSlam were a 5-match pay-per-view. And that's wide. They had 2 nights of SummerSlam. They could have done a 1-night SummerSlam with 10 matches, but no. A 5-match pay-per-view for a 2-night show. Well, you're telling me that WrestleMania is the only show that deserves 2 nights and more than 5 matches per night? Or are we going to get a WrestleMania that only has 5 matches per night next year, aren't we? Or is it because everybody should be on WrestleMania? What are we doing? Like SummerSlam only? Really? We're saying SummerSlam doesn't even matter anymore. Honestly, I'm starting to believe that maybe the people who actually made those NXT shows so good were Dusty Rhodes and the people around Triple H. William Regal, Dusty Rhodes. Like, Triple H took all the credit, but the guys around Triple H, the producers, are the ones who made those NXT shows so good. And the fact they basically had a loaded roster of indie talent that basically both. Either way, like, arguably, you could say actual quality, Shawn Michaels is a better booker than Triple H. Triple H took all the credit of what Dusty Rhodes created, of what William Regal created, of what guys who were producers at NXT created. He just took the credit. That's what I'm starting to believe. That's why I'm starting to believe. And then Triple H, back when Vince was still around, he basically let Vince take the bullets and he took the credit. And now that Vince is gone, there's only one person who can take the bullets and the credit, and that's Triple H. There ain't nobody saving his ass now because Dusty's dead. Oh, and also, when the Bloodline was around, even though we're tired of it, especially War Games-wise, Triple H had the Bloodline. And Sami Zayn. The Bloodline, Paul Heyman. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I think all of them, well, at least 3 of them, I think Sami, Roman, and Paul Heyman were the ones that made the Bloodline storyline so good. Because you know what? Sami's a genius. Sami knows the business. Sami knows how to be creative. I would not be surprised if at some point Sami Zayn, when he's older, is a Terry Taylor, is a Dusty Rhodes, is a Dean Malenko, is a William Regal. It wouldn't surprise me. I think that's where Sami's going. Roman could do it too. Roman knows his shit. I really believe most of the Bloodline stuff, the brain children or the people who came up with all of it, was at first Roman and Paul. Then Sami comes in and he helps. The Usos don't know a damn thing. Okay? The Usos have no brains. They did not come up with nothing. Let me tell you that. Jay is an idiot. Jimmy, well, look at him. Well, look at him getting Naomi pregnant at the top of her career. So, yeah, no, they're both idiots. God love Jimmy and Jay, but they're idiots. They don't know a damn thing. They just do what they're told. Well, I don't know about that. But Paul, Roman, and Sami, those are the ones who actually made the Bloodline tick. They're the geniuses in all of this. I totally believe that. The Usos are idiots. Solo, honestly, he was just too new, but I think Solo's kind of a genius. I kind of like the gimmick he's running. Solo is smarter than you give him credit for. I would say that much, even though they've probably given it to him, but I think he's had ideas. But by then he was too new. He was too new. The Usos are idiots. They don't know a damn thing. They don't know nothing. I'm sure they came up with nothing. They were the ones who did nothing and just, well, I should say came up with nothing and then just did what they were told. But basically, were told what to do on the group project and did it. They're idiots. They are idiots. Jay's probably dumber than Jimmy, but, you know, they're idiots. They're idiots. Sammy, he's like a Dusty Rhodes or a Terry Taylor. Sami Zayn will be somebody in creative once he retires. I believe that 100%. And I think he would do well. He'd be a good producer, a good creative person, a Dusty Rhodes-like person. I believe that 100%. I believe it 100%. Roman Reigns, he knows his shit. He knows his shit. I don't think he would be a writer. I think he'd just move on to Hollywood or just enjoy his time with his family. But Roman created well for the bloodline storyline. Paul Heyman, sad thing he's old. Paul's already doing it. Paul might be a lunatic and he might be a con man, but Paul knows his shit too. He knows how to book. Paul knows how to write. He might be a lunatic and he might be a con man and he might have screwed people over a whole hell of a lot, but Paul knows how to book. Heyman. Like I say Sammy, Roman, and Paul had a lot to do with the bloodline being as good as it was. I believe that 100%. I believe that 100%. On TV, I mean, the Usos did well on TV. I'm talking about booking-wise, ideas-wise. I think it was Sammy, Roman, and Paul. 100%. 100%. You can't change my mind. I don't think Roman would be a producer or a writer once he's retired. I think he'll just go to Hollywood or be there with his family. Sammy might. I think Sammy will. Or NXT versus NXT War Games, then Team Roman, Punk, Cena. Maybe, but... Or what you can do... Shit, I wish Kevin Owens was healthy. Like, the question is if you're doing... I'd rather them do NXT versus Shawn's NXT. Like, Black and Gold versus 2.0, Silver and Black, whatever you want to call it. Do you put Sammy there? Or do you put Sammy with Roman and the Usos and John Cena and Punk versus Seth Rollins' Vision? Or is it Randy, Punk, Cena, Roman, Randy, Punk, Cena, and Jay? And Jimmy's off doing some other random shit. Or does Jay turn on Jimmy? Who knows? And then Jimmy's on one side and Jay's on the other side because God only knows, but I don't know why. I have a feeling Jay might be turning heel. And Jimmy won't. So Jay could be on one side and Jimmy could be on the other with Roman, Punk, Cena, and Randy. Sammy on the NXT side. Or I don't know. Another thing people said is Styles is fed up with his booking and promo last week proves it, so he backstabs WWE and teams up with TNA. AJ Styles, Joe Hendry, Dolph Ziggler, the Hardys. Actually, now that you're talking about it. Honestly, maybe TNA versus NXT would be a good War Games match, and then Sammy's with John, Roman, Punk, and Randy against the Vision. Yeah, fair enough. That is a stacked TNA team. Vancouver with a cross, 75th minute, 3-0. They haven't scored yet after their third goal, but they've been close. 75th minute. But you know what? I mean, didn't Jesse Owens get a big round of applause at the Berlin Olympics? Like, didn't they actually? Was it? I feel like I heard something like that. 77th minute. Playing forward, cross wide. '77th minute. That is kind of ironic. That is kind of ironic, I won't lie. Jaden Nelson. Hmm. 78th minute. I mean, I don't think you are. Like, I don't think they'd say, now that you're bringing it up, I thought they were just saying war games for the memes, but maybe there's something NXT wise that will be on war games in San Diego. Whether that's NXT versus TNA, because all these TNA wrestlers are like, oh, so you're not going to respect us? They put out all those during the show. Or is it NXT versus NXT eras wise? And I don't think they're going to do it at No Mercy. I think they're just going to do it at San Diego when War Games is supposed to happen. Survivor Series. I don't think they're going to build 2 War Games cages just to do one before, like maybe a month before San Diego. So if they're going to do it, you know, it'll be in San Diego. That still only has 5 pay-per-view matches for reasons. I don't know. I'm sure there'll be a women's Survivor Series War Games, the big men's Survivor Series War Games with Seth Rollins as part of it and whatever, and then the NXT/TNA versus early NXT War Game match. And then they'll do 2 other things. For what? I don't know. Playing forward. Save. Or, well, no. I don't think they're going to do that. Honestly, maybe they should do every match as a War Games match since they're going to be at San Diego at Padres at Petco Park. Maybe they should do a Judgment Day versus AAA War Games match since they own AAA. Like Judgment Day plus El Grande Americano versus AAA. Maybe. It is in San Diego. I mean, you know, you could do it. Dominic is from San Diego, and San Diego is very close to Mexico, so you could easily do a Judgment Day versus AAA War Games match as well. Now, what's the 5th one? What would be the 5th War Games match, or do we just do 4 matches instead of 5? And just beef up the War Games matches so heavily that it's only a 4-match show? What would they do? Bet you didn't think of that. See, now I just told you. make a 4-match pay-per-view if it's all war games and just filled to the gills. Like overbooked shit. Like it's a 4 pay-per-view show, like overbooked war games matches for the whole show. You want to live up to war games? Do it. I don't know if they could do a second women's war games match. Unless it was like, no, they probably can't. They could probably only fill out one. Unless the NXT women's war games match. Or they could do an NXT era's women's war games match. A regular, oh shit, they probably can't though. I just realized. That would kind of make things, either way. Team AJ versus Team Becky or something. And then somehow try to do eras with the main roster woman who went through NXT that aren't on Team AJ or Team Becky. And then do an NXT. Something like that. Maybe. 82nd minute. That might be something, though. Would AJ do war games, though? I don't know. Tristan Blackman's out hurt. Matthias Laborda's coming on for the last 9 minutes plus stoppage time. We'll have a review for this game, and then I'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central for Cavalier versus Defense Force. Caribbean Cup, yes. But Forge, this just wasn't their night. Just wasn't their night. There's really been nothing to talk about for the second half, though. So if we've went off the rails, it is what it is. Ball crossed in. '83rd minute. (3-0), 5-2 on aggregate. Vancouver will move on to the final. Playing forward. Out for the corner for Forge. Tristan Blackman's getting walked off. 84th minute. Cross in by Patton, saved. And there's a goal for Vancouver. Jaden Nelson makes it 4-0. It was already over. Jaden Nelson made it 4-0. I mean, what'd you expect? They were in Vancouver, and it just wasn't their night. You hate to see it. Jaden Nelson. Ball played forward. Ball crossed in. Across the face of goal, and Jaden Nelson's right there to pop it into an open net. That's going to be, I expected 5-0. I mean, deep down, I probably expected this, but I wanted Forge to find a way, but deep down, I kind of expected this, which that's now 6-2 on aggregate. 85th minute for Jaden Nelson. playing forward, Vancouver. And Gondo plays it on. Nelson, that's going to be cleared, 86th minute. 4-0 for Vancouver, 6-2 on aggregate. Vancouver's going to the final, and it might be a Vancouver derby. We all knew Forbes was going to fail leg two. I mean, deep down I did too, but, you know. '87th minute. '87th minute. '87th minute. I mean, he's an owner of the Raiders. He's a part owner of the Raiders. And he should be able to be in the coaching box when he's not commentating, which he wasn't on Monday night. So he's just doing part of his duty. I don't see what the problem with it is. I hate that he's a part owner of the Raiders, but, you know, at least when the Raiders win, I can be happy for guys like Rafa and the fact that Tom Brady helped the Raiders win. I mean, it's the least Tom Brady could do. I mean, the Raiders basically created his career. Like the Oakland Raiders basically created Tom Brady. I think that was truly the game where Tom Brady became the starter of the Patriots. If he loses that divisional game, who's to say Tom Brady stays the starter of the Patriots in 2001? Or 2002, I should say. Who's to say? Who's to say? I think winning that divisional game helped him stay the starter. Certainly winning the Super Bowl didn't hurt either. But let's remember, against the Steelers, Tom Brady in the AFC title game got knocked out. Drew Bledsoe had to finish it and put the Patriots on to the Super Bowl. They chose Brady. So we know to start the Super Bowl. So we know that divisional round game was what made Tom Brady Tom Brady. And winning it, we would not have known, because Brady being chose to be the starter for the Super Bowl, even on a somewhat bum ankle, they chose him to be that starter. Drew Bledsoe finished the AFC title game that year. Let's not forget. In Pittsburgh. He did. And he got the Patriots to the Super Bowl. You could say Drew Bledsoe got the Patriots to a Super Bowl. Second Super Bowl, because he got to one at the start of his career, 1996. So, but Belichick chose Brady. So you could say that what truly created Tom Brady's career, 3 minutes of stoppage time, was the Tuck Rule game. Winning that game. So, yeah, I mean, the least Tom Brady could do is help the Raiders be good by owning them or being a part owner for them. The least he could do. They created his career. He needs to make them good again. So you know what? I think that's kind of cool. The guy who had his career created by that team, he's trying to help them win again. It's kind of funny. I mean, it really is. Two minutes to go. What? Halfway through a stoppage time. Damn, that sucks. That's out for a cross. The Blue Jays series against the Yankees in London has been canceled. The Blue Jays will not cross the ocean next year to play in London. Damn, I wish they would. That'd have been awesome. Early afternoon Blue Jays baseball on national TV. I thought that would have been cool. As World Series champions, as defending World Series champions, it would have been awesome. Okay, very likely defending World Series champions. Corner. Cross in. Header. What a save by Bemmer. That's got to be full time, and it is. Full time. Vancouver wins 4-0 on the night, 6-2 on aggregate. Just wasn't Forge's night. Vancouver is going to the CONCACAF or the Canadian Championship final. Forge could still win the CPL, Shield, and Cup. So that's good news. With that being said, Forge are eliminated. We will have a CPL team in the final against the Vancouver Whitecaps. Will it be their local contemporaries, or will it be the Ottawa or Atletico Ottawa in the Cup final against them in Vancouver on October 1st, which will still be live for. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. Notification once subscribe. Send some chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlists. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you within the hour. No. I don't want another CPL team winning this tournament before Forge. And it's kind of mean. And you know what? It kind of sucks for Forge. They should have been the first CPL team on merit to be in the Canadian Championship final for a full season or a full tournament. But they got put up against the freaking MLS team by a draw. That's just amazing. It's like they don't like Forge. With that being said, I'll see you within the hour for the review of this match. Congratulations to Vancouver. Commiserations to Forge. I'll see you within the hour for the review, and I'll see you on Wednesday night for a live stream and review of Cavalier versus Defense Force. So I'll see you then, but I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. See ya.